Today on Stool Talk, we have with us the one and only Dr. Daisiá Glenn, entrepreneur, chiropractic, woman of faith. Just all that. She's amazing. Bundle of joy, spirit of light, sister in Christ as well. We're starting a series with the overall core, mind, body, and soul. So we're going to be dealing with the different things in your mind, your body, and soul, strengthen them, and just talk about. We're just going to have a healthy conversation about it. So, Miss Daisiá, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm phenomenal.
So, can you tell us a little bit about what you do in your business?
Okay, so I am like a jack of all trades. So I went to school for chiropractic, and so chiropractic is like my heartbeat, where I start. Like that's like my foundation is chiropractic. But I love to like talk about people and their emotions, spirituality. I'm a holistic doula. I'm getting my master's in positive psychology as we speak. So it's like with chiropractic, I aim to like focus on the body, the soul, well, the mind in this case, and the spirit.
Yeah.
And so with everything that I listed, I can do that.
So I seen on your thing you guys are looking into building a new facility. Is that still in the works?
Yes.
So I'm going to maybe the end of this week or next week, I'll be submitting to you to sew into that. Was it $50 for 1,000 people?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna sew that into your business and sew it into you, because I believe that God is calling you to do some wonderful things, and He's going to use you. And for you to be able to reach that goal, I'm going to just sew into you as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So how did you first get interested in starting your own business or going in that field?
So honestly, while I was in, okay, so first let me go into how I started. So I remember when I was in college and I had came home for the summer, and I think it was maybe like my sophomore year. I knew like time was ticking, like I needed to figure out what I was gonna do. And so I just remember praying and saying like, God, I just want to heal people with my hands. I want to know about the human body, and I just want to help. And so like, I guess my heart was really sincere, because like 2 years later, I had like this guest speaker in my class, and it's my favorite class. It was like botany. It was like early in the morning, so I was like, let me go ahead. I'm excited. So I get there, it's like a guest speaker, and I'm like, oh man, I could have slept in. I didn't have to be here or whatever. But anyways, it's a guy who's talking about this school, or man who's talking about this school, and he's like, who knows what chiropractic is? And like, ironically, well, uncoincidentally, like I had just did some chiropractic, some physical therapy hours at a chiropractor's office. And so I originally wanted to be a physical therapist. So I was like trying to get like my hours, get ready for like to apply. So I was like going different places to get like different hours so I could seem diverse. And so I'm like, me. I just did some hours at a chiropractic's office or whatever. He's like, what's his name? And he's like, oh, I know that guy. Da, 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 da. And so I'm like, I text him. I'm like, you know this man? He's talking about he know you. He's like, oh yeah, I know him. So I checked out. And so I'm like, okay. And so like as he's talking about this school, he's like saying like it's in Marietta, and I live in Marietta, and I don't even remember knowing about the school. And then so I'm just like in my seat, like what's going on? And so like afterwards, he's like, you come here. And he started my application. He said, you coming to this school, you gonna be a chiropractor. And so like I'm just like yo, like, you know, after that happened, I got accepted. And I'm just like, am I about to do this? I did it. And so once I went to school, like I fell in love. And I was like, wow, Lord. And then I went and thought about that prayer, and I'm just like, wow, like.
Yeah, he answers the prayers. So what role did faith play in you starting this and going through the process? What did your faith look like? What did the role of faith play in it?
So my faith was that, and just that whole process of how everything like just checked out, just like how it was like, because I feel like when God is in it, it's like ease.
Yeah.
Me coming to class was easy. Me meeting him was easy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah,
me learning like that it was close to my home, like I didn't have to get an apartment, I could stay at my dad's house, like everything was easy, and it was like with ease. And so based off that ease, I just was like, okay, I gotta hop into this. Like I have faith that this is for me because of how like there was no struggle, there was no,
yeah,
me having to, everything just worked out, the doors open. So my faith was that like because all these doors are open, I have faith that this is the path. Like this is me. This is what I'm about to do. And so I took I took those steps of faith, and I just showed up. And then once I showed up, I was just like, oh yeah, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
right, right. How would you say being a woman of faith has impacted you and your care for your patients and your clients?
Wow, that's a good question. Um, I would say like throughout my chiropractic career as a student, I had like a relationship, but it wasn't like where it should be. But I
Hmm.
would say that like after like going through the classes and then going through all the board exams, you gotta pass four board exams.
Woo,
So me
woo.
having to like retake multiple exams, and having to pay $700 all them
Yeah,
times again. So it's like that helped me shed a layer of like just being like a regular person, like because when you're a doctor, you have to step into a new level of like self-love,
yeah,
self-care, leadership. So me having to do all that like evolved me in a way. But like once I graduated, that is when I actually like turned away from the world and actually like started pursuing God the way he was pursuing me. And so once I did that, I started reading my Bible. I started to learn things about how things are the way they are and why things are the way they are. And so now when I look at a person, because a lot of times the world, we're focused on like the physical and like
yeah,
what we
yeah.
see. And
Mm,
so with that chiropractic, we look at the root cause instead of looking at the symptoms. We go to
yeah,
the root cause. And so like with me, now that I'm a woman of God, I can go past that root cause and go to like the spiritual things. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because
yeah,
like there's things that are physical, but that physical thing started in the spiritual. So
yeah.
so
And that's
now,
good that you said that about the root because that's where the issues come from. It's a root of a thing. That's when if you feeling, where did that feeling come? It's a root of it. So you were able to tap into that and to be able to see what's going on and to be able to help even them as your client and know spiritually because you getting closer to God. Now your relationship with God is just getting strengthened. Now you stronger and you stronger. So now he's revealing different things to you. He's showing different things to you. He's speaking different things to you. So you can be able to excel. And all in a while, he's still getting the glory because off of your faith is the size of a mustard seed, and he was
mhm,
able to make it happen.
mhm,
Um, a lot of times different things that we hold on to, whether it be pride, whether it be lust, whether it be sin, different issues we hold on inside of us, it affects our body. So we hold on to these issues like that. Now trauma comes because of those issues and because of those different things. What are the things that you could say to be able to strengthen somebody to be able to release the different issues that they're holding on to because it will affect their body?
okay. So I want to start here. I want to talk about like what happens when we don't release
That's perfect.
emotions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in chiropractic, we know about like chiropractors crack bones. I'm gonna
Yeah,
clear this up. Chiropractors do not crack bones. We put motion back into the joint. So when you hear that crack, it's not the bone cracking, it's it's the joint releasing gas. Okay. So when there is a subluxation or a misalignment, the
yeah,
scientific word, chiropractic word is subluxation. And so the three causes of subluxations are trauma, physical trauma, fall, sports, accidents. Then you got thoughts, which under thoughts is like emotions and feelings. And then toxins, which are like the little chemicals that we are like exposed throughout the day, like
this is perfect.
pesticides.
So on my notes, that was the next stuff I was gonna name them, but go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Go ahead.
toxins, the chemicals
Yeah.
in our food, all that stuff. And so the one thing that one thing that people don't realize is that physical trauma is like number 2 on that list of where we get all our self-esteems from. Number 1 is our emotions, our thoughts, and our feelings. And I say this because a lot of times we don't come into a lot of physical trauma on an everyday. But what we do come across every day is stress and like
Yeah.
emotional stress and being overwhelmed and being stressed and stuff like that. And so we're really good at suppressing and not dealing with our stuff. And so when we don't deal with it, it gets stored in our spine. And when it's stored in our spine, that's when that misalignment comes. And it gets stored, it can be stored in our spine, it can be stored in our muscles. So a lot of times, you be feeling all them knots in your back and
Yeah.
and then so yeah, so all that is like energy that is bound. And like emotions, the word emotion is energy in motion. So
Mhm.
like when we have emotions and our feelings, what needs to happen is we need to do something to release it, like move. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So the best way to release our feelings is to move. And it wasn't until I realized it myself that like a lot of people say like, oh, stretch, da 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 da. Like stretching is cool, but like I would rather a person move. And what I mean by move, I mean that could be like just like rolling your head in circles, rolling your shoulders in circles. Like it's very
Yeah.
simple to move because it's like we are meant to move. Motion is life. And so like I had a moment with myself. I was like, I had like got a mat out and I just started like putting on some music and I just started like moving, dancing, and I was doing hip circles and like a thought of something in my past traumatic event happened to me. You know how we be feeling like something was
Yeah.
traumatic, but it was only our point of view of it was traumatic. They probably didn't even think none of it. Like it was a moment
Yeah.
like that I was thinking, and I kept it instead of like, because when you suppress your emotions, that's when you like the thought comes, and you're like, nah, man, and you try to think about something else. That's
Yeah.
what suppression is. But like when you deal with it, you keep it in the forefront of your mind, and then like you just keep moving. And so like I was thinking about it, and like I was like still doing my hip circles, and it was in my mind, and I just I let it stay in my mind, and then I started to cry. I just started crying, and then and I realized like, wow, that was me. I just confronted that emotion or that traumatic event. You know what I'm saying? And so I
Yeah.
did that through moving. And so like the movement is what brings it up. And once it comes into your mind, think about it. Like don't just let it stay there.
Yeah.
And
This
then whatever you laugh, you cry, whatever it is, like
this Christian comedian, he was just on Tim Ross. Him and his wife does that exactly what you're saying, and it brings up traumatic events that people have had for so many years, and he is able to like touch it or like whatever you saying doing, like he got a little method that he do that brings it up too. And he said he was at this show and the girl was like, this is stupid, this is stupid, she kept saying it, so they like, y'all want me to remove her? And he like, no, he like, let me try something, because he had faith in, God has showed him what you're talking about. So he like, well, I'm about to do it. If I got trust in God, if he don't move right now, I'm gonna look like the biggest idiot. They gonna throw food and stuff at me or whatever. So he had her confronted like he did it, and she was moving around and she did stuff. So he touched the spot. She broke down. And he was like, what's wrong? Like, she was like, I'm not stupid. So she wasn't just calling him stupid. She was like, I call everybody, I say everybody else is stupid because that's what my dad said to me when I couldn't get one problem right.
mm,
And I was little and it broke. Just like
mm.
that, because she confronted it, but she didn't even know that she had it inside. So, the Bible says that, we are going to be transformed by the renewal of our mind. So with your clients, how are you able to help them? Do you help them just regular, but with you being saved and doing a Christian, how do you implement that into, giving revelation to a client?
Well, it's like it says in the Bible, like you get like just get it when they're not ready. So it's like for me, like there's other ways that I do it, like other ways that I like sow seeds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when for the people that are ready to like talk about that, I do talk about that because like I don't always come across other Christians or other believers. Like I come around people with crystals and stuff like that. And so it's like, they have to want it. You know what I'm saying? They have to be like interested. And so when they are interested, like even if they are talking about crystals, I'm like, oh no, like instead of saying crystals, I say God is my protector. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't say like this is what you say. I say, oh, for me, God is my, you know what I'm saying? And so then they realize like, oh, okay. So and then for the people that aren't ready for it, there's like this thing that I called it's like my prophetic playlist.
Yeah.
So like when people are like laying down on my table, they're vulnerable. Like they're like at a place where they're like very vulnerable, like they're trusting me. And so like with me, like, you know, like I like to make sure that there's a good atmosphere while they're in this position, this vulnerable position. And how I do that is having like music. Like I like this year I like came into like the whole Christian R&B, Christian hip hop, Christian, like all the, you know,
Do you do
worldly side
prophetic
of music.
instrumentals?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Like you know how like service be about to start and they just playing and there's no words or nothing, they just playing. You know how like when we about to start church, how they just playing the music. Like when we start leader port, before she starts singing, you know how he just be playing like that.
Oh yeah.
So it's songs and instrumentals to get the mood like that. That is just like that, because that's all that is until they start singing it.
Right. Yeah. So it's like with me, I have to keep myself in a good spiritual state. And so like the playlist that I made, it's not just like instrumental, it's actual like songs or whatever. It's like I specifically chose each song because each song has like a certain message, like
well, can you send that to me?
Huh?
Can you send it to me?
Oh, the playlist?
Yeah,
I got you.
sure.
And so like each song has like a message, and it's like, you know, it's like a fire beat, but then it's also talking about come to God, and like you know, it's just so like they're on their table and they're like getting this care, and they hear these little things, like something will catch their ear. You know what I'm saying? And so I have like this one lady who she became one of my patients, and she liked how I adjust her, and she liked the music I play, but she's like a crystal lady. Like she likes the chakras and all that stuff or whatever. And so like I was playing my songs around her, and she was like, OMG, like when as this song was playing, like it was confirmation, like everything I needed to hear. Like when the song, because it was like a song said, like, don't forget to breathe and that you need, whatever. And so like she was like, at that moment, like I wasn't breathing, and I heard that, and I just took a deep breath. You know what I'm saying? So it's like little moments like that. It's like what matters. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna be able to like turn people in one day. It's like each time they're on my table, each time they're in my presence, like I'm like chipping away at like, you know, whatever that is. And so like I know, like I don't have my office yet, but I know like my office is gonna be like a safe place for believers. And so I want, because I was like, they're always like, as entrepreneurs, you need to find your niche, and so I was like, my niche is gonna be Christians. So it's like I want my office to be a safe place where believers can come and get poured into. And so there I may get some people of the world, but it's probably gonna be more Christians, and that's okay. But like I do want to serve everybody, but like my niche is Christians, because like it was like when I was little, they I got prophesied over that I was like a blacksmith. Like everyone's gonna come to me and get their weapons sharpened so they can go out in war. And so I was like, wow, that's kind of like what I'm doing right now. But yeah, so like, you know, it's always gonna be different for each person.
$1 million question. How do you keep yourself balanced, charged up, because you're meeting the needs of everybody. So you're pouring into them, you're doing all this stuff, you're active in church, you serve, you doing different stuff. How do you keep yourself charged up and staying close to God to where you have that relationship despite of being an entrepreneur, besides going to church and doing this and serving at church? Because when you go to church, you're serving as well. So you're steady pouring, pouring, pouring. How do you get filled up, recharged, and what do you do to keep your relationship grounded?
So I started practicing the Sabbath,
Mm-hmm.
and not like being on no, no half taily stuff, but no more like, no, like on this day, like I'm committed to not do anything. Like I'm committed to only seeking the face of God on this day.
Yeah.
And that's on Wednesdays. That's today. So today I call it Daddy Daughter Day. So I'm like I mastered the seat of the daughter. Like I'm a daughter of the Most High King. The Creator of the universe is my Father, and so on these days, I go to a trail that's like close to my house, and I go on a nature walk. And like um, another thing, a part of my office and my clinic is that like it's gonna be a safe place where nature and anatomy collide. So I'm trying to like help people realize the importance of nature and how it helps ground you back to like your body and your spirit. And so like on these days, on these nature walks, I go and I just like walk. I'm moving my body, you know what I'm saying? And I just talk. I talk to God. I talk to him about like what's been worrying me. I talk to God about like whatever is on my mind, or like, what something that I'm frustrated about. Like I just talk to him throughout that walk. The walk is maybe like 2.5 miles. And so
Yeah.
like I'm just walking, speaking in tongues sometimes. Like I'll listen to him, he may say prophesy. Like today I was walking, he was like prophesy. So I just started prophesying to myself, like, you will live and not die. You are a millionaire. You have everything you need. And so it's like each time I do that, like I feel like weight come off of my shoulders. And so at the end of the walk, there's like this little bench, and I come and I sit on that bench, and I just talk to God. Like I just said everything to him. So now I give him the opportunity to talk to me. And so like I just sit and I quietly and just see what he says. And it's always something good. And so like, and then like, yeah, I just practice the Sabbath. And then after I do that, like me and God spend time with each other. I'll come home, watch my shows, catch up on my shows,
Yeah.
just lay around, sleep. I sleep into about like 10 on this day. So pretty much when I realized that like, it's you work for 6 days and you rest on the seventh. And so it's like, once I started to take the Sabbath and the day of rest seriously, I feel like I was even reflecting on that today. I was like, Lord, like since I've been doing these walks, like I'm like so satisfied. I'm so content. Like there's nothing,
Yeah.
I'm not at ease. I mean, I'm not at dis-ease in any areas. Like me walking, moving, I'm able to like release whatever feelings, emotions I have. And then like when it comes like to mentally, or like God, I need strategy, whatever it is, like I'm going to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
that has been the difference. And because I started this year, and so like from all the past years to this year, like I don't got no knots in my back. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good. Like everything's being confronted and released.
Yeah. How do you see yourself being an African American woman of faith impacting your field, and being an African American in your field? Are you of the minority? You are. So does that motivate you? Does that affect you, or does that cause you to have certain thoughts and feel a certain way that you have to pray about, like, I know that I can do this, I know I'm gonna be successful? Do you have doubts sometimes, being that the field is uneven?
Um, okay, so yeah, so like chiropractic, it's a predominantly white male occupation. Like for years and centuries, it's all been white males. And now that I'm a Black person and I'm a female, so it's like I'm even more of the minority. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, I'm a small Black female. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. I know it's gonna happen. I have no doubt. Like me, faith is not my struggle area. I have faith, like the gift of faith, honestly. Like I have the gift of faith. But yeah, so like there's no doubt in my mind. And the way that I've gotten this way is just like really like understanding like who I am and like my identity being in like Christ. And then when I look at the stuff that God has me doing, it's like it's not just for me, it's for the world. So it's like if I know God is about his kingdom, and so like my business is about his kingdom. So it's like there's no not, this is not gonna happen. This is like it's a matter of when. So it's like because like me being a chiropractor and like me being a Black woman, there's like a nation, a group of people that I'm specifically going to be directed to. And so it's like if it don't happen, that's not gonna happen. Like his kingdom is not gonna grow. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's
Yeah.
like I have faith in that. You know what I'm saying? That like this is something that God is using. This is something that God is gonna do for his kingdom, for his name's sake. And so it's like I don't put my faith in myself now. I put my faith in what God is gonna do, what God is gonna perform it.
Yeah, his will, not ours.
Mhm.
How do you approach helping others and avoid jealousy towards other people? And even the comparison, because you know in the Bible it says comparison is a thief of joy. So how do you stay away from comparing yourself? And how do you approach helping others without having jealousy sink in?
Hmm. How do I stop myself from comparison? Okay, so boom. There was a point in time where I did have an issue with comparing with others, but that was when like I was still insecure at that time. But
Yeah,
now that I've like gotten secure in God's timing
yeah,
and God's preparation, you know what I'm trying to say? Am I
yeah.
is it
Yeah. No, that's good.
okay?
That's
Yeah. So once I started to like understand that like everyone has a process and everyone are in different stages. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not gonna compare like my walk with God with somebody's walk with God when they've been on they walk for 11 years and I'm just getting started. You know what I'm trying to say? Or let
yeah,
me not compare myself to like these people of the world because they can look like this on Instagram, but then be getting punched on, you know what I'm saying? In the
yes.
behind the scenes. So it's like I'm not about to compare my life to nobody else's because I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And I don't want to wish upon a star of somebody's life that I see on Instagram and not know like everything that they've been through to get that. Cause it's like you may see somebody on a cruise, you may see somebody catching flights, but you don't know like all the sacrifice and all the hours they woke up in the morning and all the late hours they took at work to get to where they are. So it's like honestly, instead of comparing, I started to celebrate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's,
like once you're able to like celebrate others and like what you focus on grows. So if you focus on like celebrating others, that's gonna grow. But if you focus on comparing yourself to others, like that unworthiness is gonna grow because you feel like you're unworthy, or like your life sucks because you don't have that. But it's like, and then on top of that, it's a season. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like they may be on their yacht boat season, and I'm on my like developing in the dark season. But it's like there's gonna be a time where I'm gonna be on the boat and they're gonna be in the dark. So it's like everybody has their turn, and so
yeah,
it's like you don't want to be mad at somebody when they say turn. You know what I'm saying? Just celebrate and
yeah.
wait for your turn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so with a lot's going on with mental health and people dealing with mental health struggling, whether it's friends, family members, co-workers, young adults and stuff like that. What would you speak to that with how to combat it and how to help them?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that because this is actually something that I want to talk about. So, first, your thoughts are not your own. Like, there's two sides. We already know the two sides. We see it all throughout the world. We got dark side, light side, Star Wars, you know what I'm saying? The dark and the light. You got the left, the right, you got the devil, the angel. And so it's like, that's the same for in your mind. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, we are valuable. We all are, like, each one of us are valuable. And like, there's some values in us that we don't even know that we have. And so the dark side and the light side, they see us, they see all of us. And so it's like, each side, the dark and the light, is trying to influence our mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when we have these thoughts, it's just an influence. And it's like, what side are you allowing to grow? So like, what I mean by that is like, say mental health problems, say like depression, anxiety is what you're battling. And so those thoughts that come with depression and anxiety all come from a certain influence, which is the dark side. Because when you have those thoughts, it makes you anxious, makes you worry, makes you fearful. And so that is a dark side thought. And so it's like, how do you combat that?
Yeah.
So my thing is, the music you listen to, the stuff you watch, like watching the news, does not help with anxiety, does not help with depression. Watching Law and Order, First 48, you know, just saying, like, all those things are feeding that dark influence on your mind. And so it's like, the way that because it's like, whatever you feed is going to grow. And so it's like, you have these thoughts, but you're like, I don't want these thoughts. Like, that's not going to help if you're still doing all those things that are making that dark thought grow.
Yeah.
And so the way that you come out of that is, out of that influence is, once you have a thought that's like bad, like, or I'm like, I just messed up on something. I'm like, oh, I suck. Like, you thought that in your mind. Like, the way that you overcome that thought is by speaking against it. So it's like, I said in my mind, oh, I suck. So now I'm like, to be like, you know what? That dark thought came from the devil. The devil is a lie. I don't suck. I'm amazing. You know what I'm saying? So now you have to do extra work to contradict what you just thought. And so it's like, the way that you grow the light thoughts, or the thoughts that are influenced by God, is by, listening to the worship music, reading your Bible, saying like good affirmations over yourself, getting good sleep,
Do you got sticky notes that you put on different places, your affirmations?
Yeah, so I do mine in my car. So I know I spend a lot of times in my car, so I put my affirmations, or like my scriptures that I say over myself, like right under my radio. So when I get in my car, I can just just say them.
I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about what you said about what we watch, what we take in. So the lady, she said that like, let's do this, let's try this, we're gonna do this, go on a 30-day fast, not listening to no rap music, and just listen to all worship music, Christian music. Like, I listen to all genres of music, more or less. I listen to Christian music or Christian hip hop, but I do, listen to secular music from time to time, depending if I'm at work or if I'm cleaning up, working out, whatever the case, or if I'm watching something. So then transitioning and just doing it, you find out like that music do cause rage, it cause you to be hyped, it cause different stuff, or it might have you dealing with different things. Just like a lot of women, when they hurting, when they going through stuff, what do they listen to? Men hating songs, and now they hate men, or men dogging them and all like that. And it's pouring in and feeding, like you said, all that negativity, when we have to watch all the gates of our body, our eye gates, our ear gates, what comes out of our mouth, and different things like that. But it's true, when you feed all that negativity, you feed all that, it grows. You know, and a lot of people don't understand why they feel the way they feel or why they going through what they going through. So my heart be going out to them. It's like, you know, we have to be able to give them the knowledge and information. Just how you broke that down so vivid, I guarantee when somebody hear that, they go like, I never thought about that. Because that's what we supposed to be. We supposed to be able to help those. Like we supposed to go in those places that other people can't go. Like sometimes people will be like, you're a Christian, you can't be with this person. No, God calls us to go get them and bring us. You know, he leaves the 99 and go get the one because there's people out there that's suffering, that's going through different things.
Yeah. And it's two minds that we have. We have the conscious mind and we got the subconscious mind. And so it's like, the conscious mind is the thing that we are aware of. But when we listen to the music and we listen to those shows and like watch movies, stuff like that, that affects our subconscious mind. And so it's like, if you don't tell your body how to take it in, it's going to take it in however it wants. So what I mean by that is, one thing that I realized I had to start doing is like, when me as a woman, like when I see a romantic movie and I like see all the lovey-dovey stuff and me still being single and me like waiting for somebody to come, like me watching that movie will help me, like will make me like latch on to somebody who's a counterfeit or who's not for me. And so now when I watch certain things, I tell myself like, Deja, that's just a movie. Somebody just wrote this, they did this for money. These are actors. Like I really had to tell myself like, this love story is not real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Relax. Like this is not real life. So it's like when we go through stuff and we see stuff, we have to really like talk ourselves through it, because if not, like our body is just gonna, because like our brain is so amazing. Like this is also what we're talking about too. So it's like when we have our thoughts and when we have like when we relive something in our mind, like our mind doesn't know if it's real or fake. Like if you like in your mind right now and you like think about like a bear chasing you, your body doesn't know if it's a real bear in front of you or if it's just in your mind. It can't tell the difference. So every time you relive something, your body is like it's real. And so it's like, that's why we have to be able to like talk to our body, because the brain is just so amazing. It's so complex to the point where like it hurts sometimes because.
So how did you get to that point to where you were able to be so self-aware and know the different things that you needed to do to get past that? Because you're very aware of different things, because you're saying, when this happens, this is how I combat it. When I think these thoughts, this is what I say. When this happens, this is what I do. So you're very self-aware and self-conscious. Was that always there? Has it started coming more prevalent since you started walking with God and your relationship has got tighter with God?
Yeah, I feel like it came as I got closer to God. Like because it's like, when you take that step and you're like, God, I need you. I can't do this without you. Like he starts to like take 10 more steps. You took one, now he took 10. And so I feel like the love that I have for like personal development came once I was like fed up with who I was before. Like once I finally like realized that like, oh, it's me. Like I'm the one. I am the one who created this life. I'm the one that has been making it hard on myself. And once that happened, like a passion, a flame, and like a stir up in my spirit. Like I just wanted to know like how to be better. And that started off with like, like spiritually. Like once I realized like if you address the body, because we got body, soul, and spirit. And so it's like a lot of times we try to address a lot of things from like our body. You know what I'm saying? Like we try to fix our body, like, oh, if I had a bigger butt, or oh, if I had a straighter teeth. Like, we try to fix things from the outside, but really what it is spiritual. Like the things that I needed to like become better was spiritual. Like I needed God. You know what I'm saying? And so like once I like got God and I got a solid identity and I got secure in my relationship with him and I got secure with like, certain scriptures that like spoke to me, then that's when I was able to shine a light on areas that needed to be changed so that I could like really be in right standing with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, and then stuff started changing, he started bringing people on my path to like teach me certain things. And like
Yeah.
with me, like once I finally started, like, you first come to God and like you just like fired up. Like you want to watch every sermon, you want to watch, you know what I'm saying? You want to go to everything.
Yeah.
And so like for me, like that flame never left. Like I was.
Yeah, that's how I am. So I'm gonna get you up out of here. Last two questions. How do you, as an entrepreneur, what steps are you taking to handle generational wealth and set it up for your legacy?
Period. Okay. Yes. Period. Okay. Yeah. So generational wealth, like, that's gonna happen regardless. But my main thing is like spiritual wealth. I'm like big on like being able to pass down my children good character, like
Yeah.
integrity, being unmovable. And so it's like me doing that is me like making sure that I hold good character and I have good characteristic traits and that I'm walking like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And I'm righteous. So that's like the big thing. And I know like for sure once that happens, like God will have no problem with giving me that material wealth. And so another thing that I do that I make sure that I have both spiritual and physical wealth is giving to the poor, like giving
Yeah.
alms. It's
Yeah.
like not being afraid, because that's something that God had to work on me with. Like I used to be so like icky to homeless people. Like I was
Right.
real
Right.
bad. Like
Right.
I was like, once I realized how important it was to God, like I had to repent. Like I had to get on my hands and knees and like, Lord, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And
you
so,
growing.
because it's like, what'd you say?
I said you growing, you there now.
Right. And so like once I realized how important it was to God, it was like I like straightened up. And so it's like when you give alms, when you give to the poor, you're giving, it's like you're giving onto Jesus, like you're giving the money to Jesus. Like that's how he looked at it. And so
Yeah.
it's like when you give to the poor, you're actually building up your riches in heaven.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, for sure, I'm gonna have the millions on earth, but it's like I also want to have millions in heaven. You get what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say? And
Yeah.
so once you give, generously, always available to give, no matter if it's money, your time, you know what I'm saying? Then God has no choice but to
Yeah.
make sure you straight. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so yeah, as I already know, like because like I've got that new revelation and I treat homeless people well and like I'm all about spiritual integrity and good character and the fruits of the spirit. So it's like now I didn't seek the Lord. Now he's gonna add everything onto me, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So tell everybody how they can reach you and how can they help sow into you.
Okay, guys. You can look me up on Instagram at Dr. Lilbit. That's the quickest way to find me. And if you want to follow my business page and like see what I got going on, you can go to at goodspinesonly.com. Oh yeah, okay. www.goodspinesonly.com, and on Instagram and TikTok, it's Good Spines Only. And
Gotcha.
then Facebook is Good Spines Only.
Well, we appreciate you taking time today, especially on your day, Wednesday, now that I know that I could be aware. Like I said, I'm going to sow into you, and I'm even going to see about getting some other people that sponsor and like to bless and sow into others. I'm going to see about them as well. So
Come on, Lord.
appreciate you. So it was great.
Yeah, this is so much fun, and I'm
Yeah,
honored that you wanted to do a little interview with me. And
yeah. We're gonna have other topics that we have discussed, and we'll set something up. We'll try to get more people and see about getting them, and different things like that. But it's only up from here. We're gonna continue to spread this word. You got great information, great point of view and perspective that you're doing, and I'm guaranteeing it's gonna help somebody.
glory be to God.
Glory be to God. See you this week at Revival.
Okay, bye.
See you later.